Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. Thanks for joining me today. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. I was on a little earlier today talking about the big news, the WWE major releases, the major names that were released. I was on a little earlier today, and a lot of wrestling talent and a lot of wrestling personalities are actually voicing their opinions on these releases made by the WWE today. Renee Young, now Renee Paquette, she called it a horrible mismanagement of really talented people. A horrible mismanagement of really talented people. Miro, the AEW TNT champion, says you can't soar with eagles if you're hanging with turkeys. You can't soar with eagles if you're hanging with turkeys, from Miro. Bailey says Ruby Riott is one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Alexa Bliss called it terrible. CM Punk even chimed in. CM Punk, he responded, he compared WWE to a movie with a blockbuster budget and cast written by creatively bankrupt nincompoops for just an audience of one who would presumably be WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, and he called it trash. He goes, but people watch it because they like movies. So that's CM Punk's take on it. So I'm guessing CM Punk won't be returning. If he does in fact return to professional wrestling, it won't be with the WWE. So a lot of people are a little upset. A lot of people are making are voicing their opinions, and I gotta agree with them. I gotta agree with Renee Paquette, calling it horrible mismanagement of really talented people. Miro saying you can't soar with eagles if you're hanging with turkeys. You got to agree with that. You got to agree with that. But I think it's all boiling down to, and I touched upon it as well, as the WWE is getting ready to sell. I think the WWE is going to be put up for sale, and they're getting they want to get like the high price contracts. Like Braun Strowman had a high price contract. Lana, I think, had a multi-million deal. So they want to get rid of those just so it makes the company as profitable as possible. So I think we're going to see it, and that's I saw a couple of rumors online as well indicating that the WWE will possibly put up for sale. Again, it's all speculation; nothing's been confirmed. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see. And Buddy Murphy, let's talk about Buddy Murphy for a little bit. Buddy Murphy released says that he hasn't even reached his peak yet. SE Scoops says Buddy Murphy is the latest WWE superstar to speak publicly about his release from the company on Wednesday. Murphy issued a statement on Twitter calling his 8-year run with the WWE a crazy ride. He said through all the highs and lows, he always gave it 100%. He says that the Australian grappler says wrestling fans still have not seen the best of what he has to offer. He is grateful he got a chance to work with such talented people in the WWE, but assures fans that the best is yet to come. Impact Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. I think you need to get Buddy Murphy. I think you need to get Buddy Murphy on your roster ASAP. Well, it can't be ASAP. It has to be in. I think there's a 90-day non-compete. But as soon as that's up, I think Buddy Murphy has a point he wants to prove. I think Buddy Murphy would be a great fit for Impact Wrestling, and I think Scott D'Amore should really consider signing Buddy Murphy to Impact Wrestling because, yeah, you have guys that want to prove a point, and a lot of guys that want to prove a point in the past, like EC3 and Brian Myers. They want to prove a point that being released by the WWE was a mistake, and I think Buddy Murphy wants to prove that as well. And I think, like he says, the best is yet to come. So I think Impact Wrestling needs to get Buddy Murphy on their roster as soon as they're able to. That's my opinion. And then Wesley Blake is Wesley Blake is also a free agent, and I know they were a former tag team. Bring in Wesley Blake as well. Maybe reunite them as a tag team in Impact Wrestling. Lord knows Impact Wrestling needs some more tag teams, or bring them up as bring them in as singles wrestlers. But I think Buddy Murphy would be a really good fit in Impact Wrestling. And I think Scott D'Amore should really consider bringing Buddy Murphy in because he seems like he wants to. It says he hasn't reached his peak yet. The best is yet to come, and I think he's right. I think whoever signs Buddy Murphy is going to get a really good talent there. And more bad news. More bad news on for the WWE. Their ratings are way down. The latest ratings on Raw. Wow, it's just they got a 0.44 share. 1.4 million people watched Raw. That is an incredibly low number. I remember when they were getting 3, 4 million viewers, but they're down. I mean, a week ago, I think it was at 1.6 million, and now they're down to 1.4 million. And they just released all that talent. And now, with all that talent gone, it's not going to really. I think a lot more people are going to be a little more reluctant to watch WWE because it's really not much. I mean, you got wrestlers there. I'm sure they could, they could pull in, bring in back Goldberg or bring back Brock Lesnar or whatever. Who knows? Maybe they'll release Brock now. Well, I don't think he's in a contract, but maybe they could bring the Undertaker back for a match and get some ratings there. But their ratings are really in the tank right now, and rightfully so, because in my opinion, it's a terrible product. It's just a terrible product. I I I I really haven't watched much of it for a long time, and more and more people are realizing that the WWE is just they're on a downward spiral, and I think it's only going to get worse from here. I think it's only going to get worse from here. 1.4 million viewers watched Raw again. I remember when it was 3, 4 million, but we'll see what the number is next week. I'm guessing the number is going to drop next week. I think the number is going to drop to about 1.2 million. That's my prediction for next week, that they drop to 1.2 million viewers next week. And I think we're going to leave it at that. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me again today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. As I already said, I don't want to say that again. Okay. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. Say it one more time. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.